Well, g'day guys. A quick update from me. When I started the Happy Cow Milk Company, the idea was we were going to help smaller farmers around the country supply their local market. And what we figured that would work is because you didn't have high distribution costs. When I shut the business down, I started to question myself and I lost my confidence, I suppose, and I thought, well, have I misread the situation? Was there something I didn't see? Was it actually a better way of doing things? So this past month I've been talking to supermarkets, both supermarket chains. I've spoken to milk companies that sell expensive milk, milk companies that sell cheap milk, distribution companies, farmers. I've canvassed the whole industry and I actually think we're on the right track. This idea of your local farmer in Timaru supplying Timaru or Hamilton farmer supplying Hamilton makes sense because distribution is such a huge cost. So there's companies out there selling milk at the moment who are losing money by sending milk to certain parts of the country because it just doesn't, the distribution costs are way too high. And that's not to mention the environmental impact of trucking milk up and down the country. So we're going to carry on working on that model of enabling local farmers to supply their local market. The second thing I had massive doubts about was the glass bottle. Everyone in the industry was telling me that it's a fool's game to go with the glass bottle, and so I looked into this and we thought, well, why don't we just use a plastic bottle then? You know, a plastic bottle costs about 25 cents. A glass bottle costs about $1. But if you can reuse that glass bottle every week for a year, the cost of that bottle is, a couple of cents per litre. So from a financial perspective, it actually makes sense to reuse the same bottle. We're removing the packaging as a cost. And then there's the environmental impact as well that you're saving. You're using the same bottle again and again and again rather than 52 plastic bottles. So I've renewed my commitment to the glass bottle. The second reason we want to do that is that China's stopped taking the world's plastic. And there's recycling plants all around the Western world that are just piling up with this plastic that no one can economically recycle. And there isn't actually a solution at the moment, but yet there's no shortage of plastic going into our supermarkets and into our packaging. And having chatted to everyone in the milk market, or virtually everyone in the milk market, I can say that no one is actually committed to stopping this plastic issue as far as milk goes. I think we're the only ones, and it just makes sense. So at the moment it's hard, and at the moment we're having to sort of forge a new path, but I think in 3 years' time we'll be sitting pretty well, because in 3 years' time the public are going to be screaming about all this plastic and how our recycling system is essentially hopeless or completely underutilised. So I just want to thank all our Patreon supporters. Thank you for your support, and you enabled me to keep working this past month, and we've made a heap of progress. We're going to come to you guys shortly with a plan of how you guys can help us, but a month ago I was pretty down in the dumps and wasn't really too sure how to go about it. Now I'm pretty confident that we can build a pretty awesome business and solve some of these issues. So until next week, see ya.